All right, everyone. Welcome to another serving of Nerd Takeout. We hope we just discuss entertainment things that we find interesting. Hopefully you do too. If not, then now's probably a good time to click out. This week we're going to be talking about ComicCon. Talk about Batman maybe a little bit, since I guess by the time this is up,
we would have all seen Batman.
We would have all seen Batman. Batman premieres in T-minus 28 hours from the time that we're speaking right now. So we might touch on that. I don't know. Our next podcast is almost certainly going to be entirely Batman. Either a lot to rave about or just be really, really angry.
I'm going to have a chub.
Okay.
You want to introduce us, Josh? Go ahead.
As usual, it is myself, Josh Carley, Andrew Green.
Hey.
Neil Porsche.
Me too.
John Michael is not with us this week, so
we deleted the DLC off of our hard drive.
Right, we had to clear some space this week. That's fine. We'll hopefully re-download him for the Batman podcast. So yeah. Anyways, all right. So before we get started, we kind of maybe want to start a new segment where we're doing this. We're nerds. We consume a lot of entertainment, be it games, movies, books. Yes, we read. Books are important.
Some of us do.
Some of us do, right? And some of us write. Not Andrew though.
Yeah. Everyone writes here but Andrew.
Except for
dude.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But hopefully one day you'll see that on
on to the next topic.
On
awesome.
our WordPress
cool.
blog, maybe.
So anyway, so we're gonna kind of do a thing where we recommend or don't recommend you something that we've, I guess, consumed, to go with the running pun here with Nerd Takeout, this week or in the past week. So Andrew, what is something that you thought was interesting or maybe just horrible?
This last weekend, I went to go support an awesome indie film called Beasts of the Southern Wild, and it was amazing. The directing was phenomenal. The acting, even though they were non-actors, was phenomenal. I don't know. I just loved everything about
Sundance, didn't it?
Yeah, it won Cannes, I believe, and Sundance and all that stuff. He won the director award at Cannes, I believe.
Where did you see it at?
I actually had to go down to New Orleans. Went to that theater on Canal, the one where they serve you food and stuff in the middle of the movie. It's pretty awesome.
Tomorrow night, they're actually having a red carpet premiere of it in Baton Rouge.
Yes, but I will be too busy watching a better movie.
Along with everyone else, so yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least sitting in our seats to make sure I'm in the best possible position for it.
But definitely recommend going to see this movie, just because even if you don't like it, you will never see anything like this movie. It is so original, and you just need to support it. It was amazing.
And even if you can't watch that, didn't you have that other thing that you wanted us to watch? That link you sent me?
Yeah, it was a 25-minute short by the same director.
Yeah,
thanks Josh for that. It was like 4 days ago, but yeah, there's a 25-minute short that he directed, so you can get a really good sense of his directing style. It's called Glory at Sea. You can find that online for free, so watch that now. Pause this and go watch that, and then come back.
Cool. All right, Neil, anything you care to report?
No, I don't really do anything awesome, but I played and downloaded Spelunky on Xbox Live Arcade that came out, and it's amazing. It just kills you over and over and over again, and you just have to keep spelunking. So if you want something fun, a platformer, it's not boring, it's procedurally generated, so every time you play it's different, then you should download Spelunky on your Xbox, because it's great.
Nice. I guess for me, I am almost 200 pages into book 5 of The Song of Ice and Fire.
What a dweeb.
Hey, you know what? Whatever, right? Amazing books, and this is coming from someone who doesn't like a lot of high fantasy. I don't play a lot of fantasy games, which is weird because I'm about to follow this up with don't play World of Warcraft, don't read Wheel of Time, anything like that.
It's more like political stuff anyway, isn't it?
It's very...
fantasy realism almost.
It's very fantasy realism. So don't let that put you off if you haven't read it. I haven't seen the second season. I don't watch TV seasons, which we'll get into later until they come out on DVD and I can watch them all. The first season is a pretty good. I'd say a really, really good. Not really, really good, but a really good representation of the book.
And even if not, it's a good show. So regardless, even the way it's a good show. So.
But if you are someone who
that's Game of Thrones, by the way, in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is the show. Game of Thrones is the first book.
There are boobies, lots of boobies.
If you're someone who enjoys reading, likes to sit down to a good book, I can't recommend Game of Thrones enough. Can't recommend the series enough. And then I finished Heavy Rain. That was good with a little bit of bad mixed in with it. Ultimately, I enjoyed it. And
you should write about Heavy Rain, Josh, because it's very interesting.
I might. I'll tell you what I will. I tell you, I started playing The Witcher 2.
Yeah.
Which, again, not necessarily usually my kind of game.
Yeah, but that's like a better Game of Thrones the game than the Game of Thrones game,
You
right?
know, it's getting there, and I want to compliment CD Projekt, who will never hear what I'm about to say, but I'm going to compliment them anyway, because I have it on the Xbox. I realize blasphemy. It's the extended edition, and you open the box. Alongside the game, you get a book, which literally has written the entire game out, should you choose to read it. Of course, inside the box, you get the instruction booklet, you get the 2 discs, you get a map, a well-drawn, well-illustrated, well-fleshed-out map, and you get a soundtrack to the entire game. And that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive. It wasn't the collector's edition. It wasn't, any of that. So I want to compliment them for that and say that if you enjoy good storytelling, rich storytelling, or deep gameplay, because it's fairly deep, I definitely recommend thus far. But I'm only like 2 or 3 hours in, which in a game like that, But anyways, so let's move on. So ComicCon, right? ComicCon was this past week. Lots of stuff to see. Some things good, some things.
Yeah, and Comic-Con's changed to not even be about just comics now. It's mostly a lot of the news is huge movies.
Yeah. Most of what you
media.
see publicized on the mainstream media is not that comics at all.
Yeah, because now everyone. I mean, I guess because comics, while the
comics
movies
are movies
being
now.
mainstream, but yeah, the comics themselves aren't really that mainstream.
But I mean, you have stuff like Game of Thrones. You have Dexter.
Yeah.
You have Twilight.
Yeah,
they all show up. Sons of Anarchy at Comic-Con.
You have Sony showing PlayStation All-Stars at Comic-Con. So, I mean, there's everyone's there. So.
Yeah, so it's definitely become a melting pot of sorts. Anyway, so we went through it, kind of looked at some stuff we thought was worth talking about. We each noted some stuff down. And we're going to run through our list here individually. And who wants to start?
I'll go. First, I want to talk. I saw the trailer. They played a 4-minute trailer for season 3 of The Walking Dead. I don't want to say too much because Josh hasn't finished watching season 2, but it was 4 minutes of just pure awesomeness. And the characters they're going to introduce in season 3 is just it just completely opens up the whole world.
Well,
it's completely
I was
different.
going to ask. So you've read through it, right?
I've read everything. I have 16. The graphic novel books, and each one of those are 6 of the monthly comics. So,
yeah, I started reading those, and I really do like it. But I think the new characters they're introducing are gonna bring more of that comic book type style part of The Walking Dead.
It completely changes the universe.
Right.
It's just it's going to be completely different. It's going to be awesome. It's starting to get stale.
It was slowing down so much, but I mean, yeah, I really hope they do that because I really like the Walking Dead universe. So
Yes,
I think they have to do that.
It's very good. So those characters are going to be amazing.
I wasn't really paying too much attention, but I saw that trailer for the Oz. Is it Oz Great and Powerful?
Yes.
Something like that.
that'll be-
How did y'all feel about that? From the director of the Spider-Man trilogy is what popped on there for Sam Raimi, and producers of Alice in Wonderland, which a lot of their stuff looked very similar to that, but no excitement for prequel to Oz.
If I would have, this is what I told someone. If they would have never put Sam Raimi's name, and this is going to sound weird, but if they would have not put Sam Raimi's name on it, I would have said there is no way in hell that I won't say I will not go watch it, but there's no way in hell I'm expecting good things. I'm not going to be happy about seeing it.
But Spider-Man 3 just sold you.
Yes, Spider-Man 3 sold me. No, I consider Evil Dead to be one of my favorite horror films. I thought Drag Me to Hell was a phenomenal modern.
And that's the last thing he did, right before this.
What a disturbing movie!
Yeah, as far as directing. So, and then I enjoyed Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So he has the capacity to do really good things, but I did not see it from that trailer.
Yeah, no, that trailer looked pretty generic. Hey, fantasy's popular right now. Alice in Wonderland, all that stuff. Let's do something else with that. Yeah, I don't know if I buy that trailer.
And this wasn't. There's no material that this is I understand it's pulling from Oz, but there wasn't a previous.
There is a preview. There is
written in the story.
There's a preview. Yeah. I don't know how much they're pulling from that, but there is one about the wizard or whatever it is.
Whatever he's doing.
Yeah. The Oz guy, yeah.
I'm not deep into the Oz lore.
Right.
I've seen the Wizard of Oz.
I thought I've seen Oz. It was like an HBO show or something like that. If it's like that, it's gonna be awesome.
So what did you see there, Josh?
A lot of nudity.
A lot of dropping the soaps.
Yes, especially. Well, my big thing, and this is, you could technically classify me as a fanboy in this regard. Django Unchained was just my You know, I obviously they haven't shown. He showed 8 minutes, I think, while he was there. I wouldn't watch it anyway, even if they posted it.
They had a panel too that said some cool stuff. Yeah. I did look at some. Of
that stuff. He showed up. Jamie Foxx showed up. Christoph Waltz showed up. I mean, they showed up. I love Tarantino. Tarantino was the first director who, growing up, you knew who George Lucas was. You knew who Steven Spielberg was. Tarantino was the first director I ever watched and was actively able to identify a style and was like, I like his work. I want to go find more of it.
Oh, and I actually always liked him too because I borrowed a lot of stuff from Asian cinema that I really liked, and he just did his own little spin on a lot of it, and he took things that I feel like a lot of other people weren't taking and put it in his movies, and I always liked his movies.
Well, and I think the reason that he's so good, and Quentin Tarantino is, if you ever read a screenwriting book or, I took a class on screenwriting, and everything that they tell you to do, what you should do and what you should not do. Yeah. Totally disregards that.
Yeah, he does what he wants to do. Yeah, no. Yeah,
and he has such a deep understanding of film. It's like it's like an encyclopedia, and I think that translates.
And he's also a huge dweeb, so that helps out a lot for making entertaining for us.
So that the trailers have looked good. Everything about it looks good.
Did you see that? I didn't even know until I read it about the whole Will Smith thing, about how originally he was one of the people they were trying to get to play.
He was supposed to be Jamie Foxx's character. Huh?
Yeah.
He had originally said that he wanted Will Smith to play Django. And then a lot of people said he dropped out for Men in Black. It was all this stuff. And Will Smith finally, I think, came out and said something about he was working on Men in Black and he wanted to do Django.
Right.
But Will Smith, when you sign Will Smith on, I believe that you were contractually obligated that he has a very, very large amount of say.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think he had enough time. According to Will Smith, he didn't have enough time to sit down with Quentin Tarantino and flesh things out.
And he did still praise the script. He did really like the script, like Will Smith was talking about. But Quentin Tarantino at ComicCon did actually respond to what that whole thing was all about, and he followed it up by saying that he actually interviewed like 6 people who he really wanted for the part. He wasn't really sure who was going to have it, and Jamie Foxx was actually the last guy that he interviewed. But he said that immediately after doing the interview with Jamie Foxx, he called the other 5 guys back and just told them that he found the guy that he wanted. He said that he was a cowboy and he was awesome, and so it looks good. The trailer looks awesome. It looks.
I think that there are people who show up in Quentin Tarantino. I don't have a problem with Jamie Foxx as an actor. I liked him in Ray, but I don't actively pursue Jamie Foxx films. But I feel like there are people who, as performers, as actors, actresses, whatever you call them, they're usually okay. But I feel like whenever they show up in a Quentin Tarantino movie, either A, they give their best performances, or B, they give performances that you're not going to see them give.
Well, I think he's fun to work with. And, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play a good, asshole. And, that's going to be good, too. So.
Yeah, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
And he's done this thing because he kind of, would pull people, out of either lack of stardom or he'd make them famous. Yeah. But now it's like with Bastards, it was Brad Pitt, and now he's got Leonardo DiCaprio, and so he's kind of working with more A-listers, which is good. I just want to,
So that just speaks more about Tarantino's ability to direct, because like you said, I don't think the actors are like, oh, I'm doing a Tarantino film, I get to have fun. But it's more like Tarantino, like, all right, this is inside of you. You haven't done this yet. No, I need you to pull it out. And that's just what he does. He's just a really good director.
And everyone that works with him, when they talk about him, they just have the utmost respect for him.
So while that looked interesting to me, it didn't, was that Skyfall trailer or anything about Skyfall, the James Bond movie. I have zero interest in the new James Bond movie, and I just don't care about that. It's just that's so played out. Like, I don't even care what they're doing with James Bond. Like, the Bourne stuff does a lot of that stuff better, and a lot of these other movies, it's garbage.
Dude, Casino Royale was the only Bourne film to rival Casino Royale was Ultimatum.
Oh no, I liked Casino Royale. But then what was the other one?
Quantum of Solace. I don't like it either.
Well, I just don't really need more of even him as Bond.
Here's
one of the greatest Bonds. Like, he's so good. Daniel Craig is so good.
Yeah. Here's the main reason I'm interested in Skyfall. Number one, because I like Casino Royale so much. But it's 3 different directors. So this one is actually Sam Mendes, who was American Beauty, Road to Perdition. Since then, you can kind of argue that his films hasn't been as interesting.
But those are really good films.
Right. And so I'm interested to see what he's going to do with this. Also, Javier Bardem is the villain.
Yes.
So Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, phenomenal actor, number one, and 2, like, if he's even half as good as he was in No Country for Old Men versus Daniel Craig,
yeah,
I'm in.
Yep.
Mandate. We've gone on a mandate.
That trailer, yes, we're gonna have a mandate.
I don't like the train going through the wall.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm excited, and you suck.
And Neil's an idiot. Yep. So I think we can agree
right about
on
everything, so it really doesn't matter. So.
What do we know?
Okay, I guess I'll go next. I want to keep this movie train rolling. I had a nerdgasm over the Hobbit panel at ComicCon. You knew it. You knew that was coming.
On my list.
Hey, wait. So is it exciting to you that he's filming it in 3D and at 45 or 48 frames per second, or is that distracting and YouTube won't be able to watch it?
They showed something in was it 24 frames per second or something like that?
He was trying to
converted the original
reconverted
footage into 24 frames.
He listened. He was like, all right. He reconverted it down to normal.
Yeah,
but he's
because
still
if you don't want to see it in 48
42.
frames per second.
Because
they're
Bilbo
still
Baggins,
doing that.
I
They're
don't know.
doing the 48 frames. I thought he was going to do that when they released because he was talking about how it looks so much better in 3D when they do
They
that.
said something about he's reformatting it, like
Dude,
24.
it was a huge...
I'm pretty sure that article was just saying he was showing the difference. They're still filming the movie in 48 frames per second.
I think he's premiering it, or he's showing,
Dude,
he's doing all the promotional stuff in 24.
It's going to be... Okay, we'll see when it comes out. I've just read it today. That's
Also,
going to be at
Neil's
48
an
frames per second and in 3D. He was talking about how it's so much better in 3D at 48 frames per second.
I care for neither of those things.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, these people can do things right with that. I don't know why y'all hate both of those things.
I'm not saying they can't do things right. Like, I'll use Hugo as an example. I thought, as far as, and yes, this includes Avatar, I thought Hugo was by far the most well-crafted 3D I've ever seen in a movie.
That or How to Train Your Dragon, which is surprisingly really good. But
But
yeah, I
from
would
a-
agree.
but from a-
But this is a lot better movie. Hugo's a better movie. But
Right,
yeah.
but what I'm saying, like, it's like from a camera, it won the Oscar for Best Cinematography, I think, which is saying a lot. But even then, it just, something about it pulls me out from the story.
Yeah.
And I've never seen...
I think it's your pompous film.
It
you
might be,
asshole.
it
That's
might
the
be.
only thing I can think of about why that would really matter. But I mean,
Just old
either
school,
way,
man.
like the
Old
way,
school.
the way the Lord of the Rings films looked, I really liked everything they were doing. So
Oh,
I really am interested.
I want to ask you about this, because, first of all, I'm glad that Peter Jackson's directing it. I think Peter Jackson did a great job with
Don't really
with
want anybody else to do that right now. I don't
Well,
think.
the question is, so originally, Guillermo del Toro, the guy that did both Hellboys,
Correct.
didn't like the first one, liked the second one, Pan's Labyrinth,
Oh my god.
was
so good.
originally supposed to direct it. And as glad as I am that Peter Jackson is directing it, I am curious,
Still curious, yeah.
to see
what that would have been.
what it would have been
Yes.
like.
Yeah, no, and I agree.
Never
That's
gonna
it's
see
always
it.
interesting. But yeah, that's never
Never
going to
gonna see
happen.
it.
And
No,
it probably
it's
would
not,
have took longer.
unfortunately.
And just whatever. Yeah, I mean.
Well, he pieced out because he's like, I'm not waiting on this anymore.
So when I was watching the stuff for The Hobbit and like watching some of the stuff they showed at Comic-Con, they had hinted that it could possibly run into 3 films instead of just 2.
No. He denied that. He completely.
Then
that's what he talked
let
about.
me ask this. Okay,
What do you-
so
I just read, what do you mean he denied it? He denied
Peter
that
Jackson.
quote.
Yes, Peter Jackson said no. There will not be a third film.
what is the
He said
second
that.
film?
I just read it. He just
No, I just read it.
okay. Well, apparently we read the wrong internet. So, but yeah,
Wait, what was your question?
What's going on? Because
he has
Why it's 2 films?
There's 125 pages of Tolkien's
extra
notes
material, yes.
that they're able to use besides just the book.
Right. It was written.
Oh,
it was extra material that
I can't
Tolkien
stand
wanted
this
to
stuff.
have.
It's detail though. It's not like it was more detailing out thing, which happens when anyone writes. But still, like
Yep.
that's a little.
except for Andrew.
Well, Angel doesn't write, so
Shut up, David.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
yeah.
Anyways, nerd fact. So there's gonna be a character in The Hobbit that I think is mentioned in one line in the entire Lord of the
thank
Rings
God.
trilogy, called Radagast the Brown.
That's actually a really cool name.
He
though.
he's a wizard.
I don't recall Radagast
Yeah,
the Brown.
exactly. See, he's actually going to be in The Hobbit. He's some wizard. Apparently, he's called the Brown because he's shitty.
Like
Again, I was like, yeah, this Radagast the Brown, he kind of sucks at magic. So apparently, he's going to show up in The Hobbit, which is
By the
interesting.
way, one of the quotes that Peter Jackson, did say when I was there was that it was going to be filmed at 48 frames per second, for that it will provide real immersion, something you can't get on your iPad. And that was something he kept going around saying. And I was just thinking, like, yeah, I guess that's something you can say in market. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good line that he had. Did you see? I know,
your
I'm sorry.
iPad.
So, Elysium.
Wow.
I don't know if they showed anything of there, but they had the panel for it. That's that new sci-fi that they were talking about it being like the. It's It's like the director of District 9.
Yeah, that's Matt Damon.
Matt Damon's in it. Matt Damon's in it. But I mean, that it looked kind of neat from what they were doing. But I really liked District 9 like more than most things. So I was actually kind of excited.
Way better than I thought I was going.
Oh yeah. And I'm glad it turned out to be District 9 and not the Halo movie they were going to do anyway.
Right,
so I'm actually glad it turned out that way.
I mean, well, that's one of those things that if the trailer comes out and the trailer sucks, I will still be interested to see it based on the fact that I like District 9.
From a guy who was like making a really awesome commercial who then got to do District 9. I mean, that was really impressive.
And I don't, I can't quote you the exact number, but that movie, what they spent versus what the actual product looked like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, oh my goodness.
And it did pretty well for what they spent. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, they recouped a big part, but yeah, very excited.
Did y'all see the Dredd trailer?
I've seen the Dredd trailer.
I think I did see that.
They played the whole full screening for people at ComicCon, is what I heard. Yeah.
Well, it comes out in September.
Yeah.
I'm like, shouldn't you have been like...
So, who plays Dredd?
Carl Urban. He's the guy that... the Star Trek. He's the doctor. What's the doctor name in Star Trek? I believe I'm almost positive that's who it is.
I'm not sure. I couldn't see who it was. I just kept
Cersei
seeing his
Lannister
mask.
apparently plays the villain there. So,
really
yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it looked kind of neat. I mean, I didn't really care for the old Judge Dredd movie. It was kind of...
A lot of people didn't. I don't think...
It was kind of...
If you cared for the old Judge Dredd movie, let me know so then we can...
Yeah, but Judge Dredd's an awesome character and he looks cool, so I mean, I don't know. It seems like that'll be entertaining. I didn't realize it was already September it was coming out there.
Yeah,
so
September.
That should be good.
It's kind of like, dude, how much faith do you have in your film that you're just now like...
Right, yeah, no. So what else did you...
Well, the other thing I was going to talk about, it wasn't Comic-Con, it was actually EVO. But...
What about?
Nope.
I mean, I still have stuff about Comic-Con. Are you done with Comic-Con, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm...
Oh, well then, I just want to talk about the Marvel stuff, because they did do a lot of stuff about Marvel.
Let's talk about comics. We're talking about comics.
Well, I mean, the Marvel movies, really. First, they announced that they confirmed, it's been rumored a lot, but they confirmed that they're going to make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
So... The only reason that's relevant is because Rocket Raccoon is one of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
I have no idea why that is being made, because it has like a talking tree, and that just seems... I mean, I guess
they have a Guardians of the Galaxy.
If they can do that and like make it kind of interesting, I don't know. That just seems... I mean, I'm glad they're making all these comic book movies, but Guardian of the Galaxy seems like a little stretched. And the reason I thought it was funny is because when they were asked about the Black Panther movie again, that was being rumored, they said that might just be a little difficult to do. And I just thought that was funny, that it'd be difficult to do a Black Panther movie because they were like, oh, well, making that sense of place, which all it is like a fake African city that they made up, that they've actually talked about in Iron Man and in Captain America. Right. That would be complicated to do, but Asgard and talking raccoons that shoot rockets and stuff like that is like super easy.
We'll classify that as skirting the issue.
Right? Yeah. But they also said the two subtitles for Captain America 2 and Thor 2. So Captain America 2 is The Winter Soldier. Yeah? No, that doesn't do anything for you.
It doesn't do it for
and
so
Thor
like, does he have
2,
like a mental battle while he's locked in the ice cube or something?
Yes,
He's
and
like
that's the whole movie.
Is that the whole movie or inside of his head?
And then Thor 2 is The Dark World, which sounds like a great subtitle. So
I'm 100% not excited to see that.
Yeah, and while they actually did confirm one of the villains in Iron Man 3 too, but I don't actually remember who that is because I'm not really super excited for Iron Man 3.
I know you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
It's a different director that's doing 3.
Is it then either
John
one of them?
Favreau,
Okay. And they also announced, which y'all should have looked at that. They actually showed some footage from Ant-Man as well because they are actually
that is happening.
Yeah, that's
is
totally
Edgar Wright still
happening.
directing it?
I'm not actually sure if he's
because that
I just
would
wrote
literally
down
be the only
a
thing
real
that
thing
because he was working on it for a while.
Yeah.
Like after Scott Pilgrim, that was going to be like his thing.
Oh, I mean, he probably could do that because I don't know
the only
who
I
in God's name
could
could do Ant-Man and make that relevant. And I mean, Avenger and everything. I just do not care.
No, I know that he was originally supposed to do it, and I don't know if he's still on it.
Yeah,
but that was one of those things that's like pulling me to direction like Ant-Man. I don't care at all.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright, I like you so much.
Right,
good stuff. Even his trailer in Grindhouse, like the what is it, the minute-long trailer? Don't was his trailer.
Oh,
he's just good. He's good.
And the other thing was, y'all didn't have any opinions on the whole Man of Steel thing. They showed something there. You can't see it online yet, but about that even happening, as was it Zack Snyder's directing it and Christopher Nolan's like babysitting it or something.
No, he's not
totally
babysitting
awesome.
anymore. Basically, what happened?
They said he was though. They said he was watching over it.
Well, okay, so he's producing it, and him and Jonathan
Dark
Nolan.
Knight.
Well, no, what happened was Jonathan Nolan wrote the script. That's his brother, his little brother, who has helped write scripts for the Batman films. Nolan had to give it the go ahead. I think he did some rewrites, and he came on as producer as far as really hiring the director, which they landed on Zack Snyder. Which visually, I think Zack Snyder's a good director.
Write the script away from him, though.
Which is why I like 300, because it's a visual movie.
Yeah, because there ain't a lot there other than that.
Right, and so when you have a film like 300 and you can work it off of visuals, it's fine. But then when you have a movie like Watchmen, where the visuals are good, but oh wait a second, there's supposed to be a story.
Yeah, let's muff up the story here for a minute.
Abysmal. But so Christopher Nolan picked him, but then Christopher Nolan pieced out to go do Batman. Okay. So I don't know.
Smart choice.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I mean,
because Superman sucks.
A dark Superman just doesn't really make that much sense to me. They were talking about how people actually liked the trailer from when they were watching it, and they said that apparently Superman's having a problem seeing where he fits in the world.
Man.
But wait, but that's kind of relevant because the Superman character doesn't fit in the world now. Like, it made sense back then when Superman was popular, but Superman even as a character just doesn't make sense, at all. He has no conflict either. He's Superman.
I will still go see it for no other than the fact that I am interested to see, because historically Superman doesn't interest me. For reasons.
Although
that
the first Superman movie is entertaining to watch.
I really sat down and watched. I know it's touted as like one of.
It's actually entertaining to watch. Yeah, I mean it is. It still is. It's still fun to watch.
But Nolan.
You didn't watch Lois and Clark growing up at all on TV?
Sure, I watched Lois and Clark.
Yes, and I thought you or Jamie were really into Smallville.
Okay, so my wife is huge into Smallville.
And I'm really sorry.
She's the reason you're going to go see Man of Steel. Huh?
Yep.
No, Christopher Nolan's the reason I go see Man of Steel. Okay. Now. No, I mean she hated Superman Returns. Yeah. Hated it.
Good.
Who didn't?
Good.
Now, I will say this. Smallville. I will say this in defense of Smallville is that
Power Rangers was really good, and so is Smallville.
Well, the reasons that I don't like Superman are not prevalent in Smallville, because he doesn't have his powers at the beginning of Smallville. He's gradually getting it.
And they had that hot Chun-Li chick, whatever her name was, the Asian.
Didn't Aquaman show up in that? Did Aquaman? Wait, no, Green Arrow did, huh?
Green Arrow.
They had like
which
parts
now
of...
have his own, Green Arrow's getting his own spin-off show.
Yay, Green Arrow.
Yeah, and they had like parts of like the Justice League and stuff. And they did a lot of weird stuff in that show, like some fan pandering. But that show was on the air for a long time, so apparently a lot of people love it. So let's not crap on Smallville. So the last trailer that I watched. Oh wait, no. Pacific Rim. They didn't show a trailer, but looked really cool.
Guillermo del Toro.
That's it. Yeah. And all I know is it has big robots and
aliens. It's aliens. What it is aliens. So it's Power Rangers, the movie, right? Aliens come down, humans get in their robots to go fight. But it's not just humans. It's Charlie Day, Ron Perlman,
Hellboy,
and there's like one or two other people in it that I'm just like,
this is gonna be good, right?
This is
or at least entertaining for
watching Charlie Day fight aliens.
I'm gonna watch this. Is that this year or is that next year? Is that far out? Is that 2013?
I'm assuming that's next.
2013.
It's the last movie he did.
Well,
is that horror film?
No, the last one he directed was actually Pan's Labyrinth.
I was gonna say, I don't know what he did.
He produced Don't Be Afraid. Yeah. He produced that. He produced Beautiful. There was 3 movies that he was.
And everyone should see Pan's Labyrinth if they haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth.
Orphanage is one of them.
Well, he did that. That was alongside Pan's Labyrinth. But he produced that. Also, a phenomenal horror film, The Orphanage.
Yes.
Great movie.
So, the last movie that I saw a little bit of, they didn't actually show anything. They showed it there. It's like a short trailer. But the new Godzilla movie that they're making. And it's like actually supposed to be pretty awesome. And they showed like a silhouette of what Godzilla looks like rising out of rubble.
Oh, he looks like a giant lizard?
He looks like the old Godzilla.
Oh, like the person in the suit?
Yeah, so it looks awesome.
So he doesn't look like a Goomba.
And it's right, no.
It looks like
it's not gonna look like a crappy lizard from Spider-Man. But it's a director who did that show. Is it Monster or Monsters? You know, the one with the aliens in Mexico that are invading.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
Which I really like.
He did another
He's the director.
One, but I didn't see. But that's another good movie. That's another good example of taking like a minuscule amount of money and doing
You
something awesome.
You
with
should
it.
watch that, Andrew. It's on Netflix,
What is it?
I think so. It's called Monster or
It's called
Monsters.
Monsters.
I'm too busy
It's
watching.
really, really, really
I'm
good.
too busy watching The Wonder Years.
Which is that's fair. Winnie Cooper is pretty awesome.
But yeah, no,
Fred
it's
Savage.
for that reason, I can
Exactly.
see why they gave
yeah,
it.
and it makes sense because that fit exactly what I think the style they're gonna go for, and I think they're gonna go back and try to appeal more to like actual Godzilla fans and not whatever in God's name they were doing with that Godzilla remake. So
with the little lizard with Jurassic Park.
I hated that movie. You know what's funny though? I went and saw that movie like on release day when it first came out because I was like so big in the Godzilla, and it was me and my dad, and we went to the movie theater in Covington, and we got there. I'm like super excited to watch it, and right when they first showed Godzilla, the power went out in the theater, and and they actually skipped a few scenes in the movie, and yeah, a lot of people got their money back. But we missed like the first noise when he makes the Godzilla noise and
Was
stuff.
that Matthew Broderick? Who was it? Matthew
I believe
Broderick.
so.
Yeah.
That was a horrible piece of shit film. So moving on to something that's not movies or comics.
So I wanted to bring up, not ComicCon, but Evo, same time. We
Yes.
talked about it. So we've kind of talked about it a lot, but I'm just really, I want to get. I don't think we've talked. Me, Andrew, you and I haven't really talked about this much.
Yeah, Neil and
But I want to get your opinion on Injustice.
Oh,
That's still
for
Comic
those
Con.
of
They
you
showed
who-
some Injustice.
Did they
though.
show it
Yeah,
at
they showed
Comic-Con?
some
I mean,
Injustice.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know what Injustice is,
And you shouldn't
it's-
because it's a horrible name, so it's probably why you didn't know what it was.
Right. So basically, it is NetherRealm Studios, Mortal Kombat, and they are making a game with the DC characters.
Yep.
But there are no Mortal Kombat characters in it this time,
No.
which I think gives it a little bit of a leeway as far as not having fatalities, not having blood. But I just, what do you think?
I'm excited that it's NetherRealm, and I really want to support their project, but
Because they want to do something
man.
else
I know,
so
I
bad
know.
that's not Mortal Kombat, and
Right.
they never can make
Right.
money off of it.
and then the whole thing with the interactive environments, like I don't
Spam
know.
Central.
Yeah, I don't.
Gag.
That game's never gonna be like in a professional circuit. I don't.
But
think.
they're gonna make
Will
it. They're trying to make it. Yeah, they want it to
the
be at Evo
environments
because
and stuff?
yeah, they want you to be able to do it still like professional fighting, but it's so. I know it looks like Mortal Kombat. It's like 2-on-2.
Yeah.
It has a lot of the same style. They changed the button a little bit. Everyone has their own special move and stuff now.
Right.
But how do you feel about the outfit designs? Because NetherRealm Studios gets full permission to design all the outfits for the characters, so that's why they're all.
Did they go back and
redesigned.
redesign all of them?
Yeah, they
I remember
redesigning all the characters.
thinking the Flash looked really dumb.
Batman's okay.
Yeah, because
Batman
everyone
is
knows
Batman.
Mortal Kombat characters are designed so well. It's like bad
Well, now
comic
something
darling shit.
that I was thinking, I was thinking about this the other day, and I kind of. So Freddy Krueger, the DLC for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I did obviously they had to go with the new Freddy Krueger, which I'm sure was a contractual thing.
Yep,
with
100%.
I think Warner Bros. Knew that was a new line.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's contractual. They didn't mention that.
But I loved playing as Freddy Krueger. Number one, because he played well. It
Legit
wasn't a throwaway
character.
character.
Legit
His
character.
moves were relevant, and his fatality, where he pulls you into the ground and
Yeah.
blood flies up in the air,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
So
Johnny Depp style.
yeah, so they clearly they get it in a humorous kind of Mortal Kombat way. So I hope that translates.
Well, I mean,
into this.
you saw like when Superman does his little special move, how he like punches you up and like knocks you out of the earth. That's
that
really
was
cool, you
That was
know.
cool.
And I think,
like
and
that.
apparently, from what the rumor is, they're gonna have a crap ton of characters in this game.
Yeah.
They're talking about trying to rival like the Marvel vs. Capcom universe. in
I
terms
like
of
how
characters.
Nightwing played.
Yeah,
when they
so
demoed
let them,
Nightwing.
yeah,
I don't
let
know
them
if
do
I saw
that.
Nightwing.
Let them
Saw
get
Solomon Grundy,
as
yes.
many characters as they can get. And I'm sure it'll still be fun. And I like fighting games. I like new fighting games, so I'm gonna be excited
Yeah.
for
Well,
it. But
when
play it.
they were demoing it, because they demoed like 14 minutes at Evo, he was talking about it. They were playing, and he was. It sounds to be pretty in depth. Like
Yeah.
he's like, okay, this is Batman. This is a gadget character. Here are his strings, and like so, they had the car, but Batman can't do anything. Like he can't pick up the car, but Solomon Grundy can. But he can slam your head into the car.
Yes.
Right.
Slam
And
your
I like
head
the
to
way
the hood.
I like the way they were
like
trying
that.
to play off of like they have these superhuman characters and then ones that aren't so superhuman and
Right.
let them fight against each other.
Right. So they put some thought into it instead of making
Right.
Mortal Kombat characters with DC skin.
Yeah.
And
So-
I'm sick. And I'm
Well, some
gonna,
of them. The guy looks like Jax.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of people are fussing because like, oh, it's gonna be rated teen. Now I get why that's an issue with Mortal Kombat versus DC because that's a Mortal Kombat game, but then you can't because. But to me, if there's no Mortal Kombat characters in this game, it might play like it.
It should be teen.
Right. It should
Right.
be teen, and I think they're going to press it as far
And you
as
can
they
push the
as they
teen
can.
line a lot.
Uncharted.
So yeah,
How is that game team?
yeah. So you only kill like 3,000 people in that game.
Right.
Spoilers. So
Headshot.
speaking of, since we were talking about games, they did actually show PlayStation All Stars, like I said earlier, at ComicCon, and they introduced 3 new characters. 2 of which are actually one, but they have Jack and Daxter, which not really a surprise.
Are they separate? No,
they're one character. Yeah, you can like toss them around. They do
it's like the
moves.
Pokemon Master.
Right. And then they also showed
Ice Climbers.
They also showed Cole again for another fighting game, which from Infamous, which is not interesting me all. But
Wait, which one? Cole 1 or Cole 2?
Cole 2. Cole 2. Not yeah. But in the defense of that game, they did show after Evo a 10-minute video of how the combo system works in the game, and it's more like Marvel vs. Capcom. Like they announced that at Evo they showed Hayachi from Tekken, and the 2 little cats that are from PlayStation mascots. And in the game, like it works more like you have like light, medium. Like the combo looked pretty neat. So the game plays. It looks like Smash Brothers, but it still plays a little bit more like a fighting game.
I think that says something though. Whenever
it looks really like Smash Brothers.
I think it says something for your game though. Whenever your first game out, your Sony game, you're already jumping into third party. And there's,
but that's what PlayStation was, though. PlayStation was third party. PlayStation 1.
But you could have people like Snake. You could have people like Leon Kennedy. You could have a Final Fantasy character or 2, which are technically third party games, but they're still under Sony. But when you're going into Tekken, when you're going into
Tekken was PlayStation. Like Tekken came out on PlayStation. That was like their big thing.
Think
now the Big Daddy thing.
I think
was
of Tekken
push.
as going to a random Popeyes and play on an arcade machine.
Tekken was Like you had when you had the Soul Calibers, you had Link on Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube, you had Spawn on Soul Calibur 2 on Xbox, and you had Hayachi again on Soul Calibur on PlayStation. I mean,
I think it's them trying to push it some more.
I
don't associate.
I think the only thing that'll make me play this game is one, that fact that proper the rappers in it, and if they really do,
that is a fair point.
If they really do just embrace like the wacky, weird Sony from like that, like early '90s era when they were making all those just weird Japanese games, and put a whole bunch of that in there, I'll really like that. I just don't know if I think Superbot is who they're called. I just don't know if they'll be able to actually do that.
Didn't you tell me they're doing like a level with the Onion Master?
Yeah, there's a level of Onion, the Master Onion or whatever from Proper the Rapper.
It's all in your mind.
Yeah, and I mean, then you just put like a Gran Turismo car fighting and like do all types of the Soul Reaver guys.
You can go to Hades from God of War and fight there.
Yeah,
I mean, it has the makings of a good game. It just looks like such a
it was called Smash Brothers.
Right.
It's a really good. Yeah.
It doesn't. It might be fun, but it certainly doesn't have my respect or interest in any sense of the word. And like I said, Big Dad.
Oh, and the one last game that we should definitely talk about is they had that announcement trailer for the Deadpool game. Did you watch that or anything at all?
Bang bang bang.
So, did y'all like that trailer? Or what did you think about? Really?
No.
Really?
I don't know.
A lot of people liked that trailer. Like it was. I really liked it. It was really funny. Like the comics, like referencing breaking the fourth wall. Why did you like it? It's the Amazing Spider-Man team that's making it too. The guys who made the Spider-Man game, where they just took the Batman stuff.
You didn't do anything for me. Like I just
such a Debbie Downer.
I feel like it could be. Oh, okay. It could be a great game. Deadpool has the makings of just having an awesome, just being an awesome, fun character to play. It just doesn't look. It looks too generic for me to be interested in it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I feel like that type of thing has been done so many times for so long that unless there's just something special about this game,
yeah. But I think it's supposed to be the breaking the fourth wall and being funny in that type of game that they're trying to go for.
Well, that's fine. I got Devil May Cry over there.
That's true. That's true.
So, we're gonna take a break and go get something to eat, go get something to drink, and we will be back in a moment. Everyone, welcome back from the break. I hope you got your got something to drink, maybe something to eat, or maybe you just didn't, because I think it's probably about like a 2-second thing.
Yeah.
10 minutes to us was like 2 seconds to you.
That's right. So I'm assuming by the time we put this out, Batman will be well on its way to coming out. Hopefully you'll see it opening weekend. If not, I hope it's good. And we'll talk about give you our briefs of what we hope from the film, what we want from the film, and whether or not we actually think it's going to be good. But before we do that, I want to read this article. had a friend post it on Facebook last night, and it showed up once or twice more. And I think we agreed from the upfront that on this show we weren't going to get any kind of politics.
But we lied, apparently.
And so we're not getting into politics here, but this just bared repeating that we needed to talk about it. So it's important. It's important to before going into this, it's important to know. So Mitt Romney, the Republican candidate, whatever your opinions are on him.
Is he Bane?
Before Mitt Romney became whatever the nominee now, he owned, according to this article, a private equity firm called Bain Capital. B-A-I-N.
Oh, he is Bane. This is too good.
So, Rush Limbaugh, and I'm going to read you the direct quote from the article. This is what he said. Do you think that it is accidental that the name of the really vicious, fire-breathing, four-eyed, whatever it is villain in this movie is named Bane? Jumped out. This movie, the audience is going to be huge. A lot of people are going to see the movie, and it's a lot of brain-dead people, entertainment, the pop culture crowd, and they're going to hear Bane in the movie, and they're going to associate Bane, as in, Mitt Romney's thing. The thought is that when they start paying attention to the campaign later in the year, and the Obama and the Democrats keep talking about Bane, Romney and Bane, that these people are going to think back to the Batman movie. Oh yeah, I know who that is. There are some people who think it'll work. Others think you're really underestimating the American people to think that will work. And I just had to read that. I just had to read that.
So, I guess it would be a good thing for Mitt Romney if the movie's actually good, because they'll be reminded of Bane, like, oh, he was in that awesome movie.
But Bane's the antagonist, so Mitt Romney's
just
the
like Mitt
antagonist.
Romney. Oh wait, yeah.
But
Romney is Bane.
That's so sad.
So forget the fact that
It's Rush Limbaugh, so we should have ignored the whole statement.
Right. Well, forget the fact that Bane was created in 1993.
Right, since before all this.
Or forget the fact that this movie was written and started filming before Mitt Romney was even.
Right.
But he still existed, so it's possible.
It's possible that Chris Nolan had an inside track. Maybe the Republicans like Batman so much
That makes sense
that they
to me.
went to Christopher Nolan and said, "Here's what up." And Christopher Nolan said, "Just kidding, I don't like you. I'm going to do this in this movie." Anyways, we're not going to comment on that anymore
So
because we don't want to
sad.
get into it. But that humored me enough.
So sad.
I just felt like
God.
that needed to be publicly announced, and I probably just did what he wanted by doing that. But
Go
you know what?
America. You're right.
America. Bane.
Whatever. It's funny. Whatever.
So
God
we're
help
gonna
us
talk
all.
about why Batman Begins sucks, or we're actually gonna talk about what we think about the Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises.
All right, Andrew. What do you want? What are you expecting from this film? Get a change of pants. I have some you can wear if you feel like you're gonna need it in the middle of this. But
Yeah. I mean, I know it's going to be amazing.
oh,
Like the last...
That's
like-
a tough word. We knew
Amazing.
We knew the ending
No,
to
I
Mass
know.
Effect 3 was going to be amazing.
Oh, shut up.
I'm just saying it could
But
happen twice in a year.
I've been
Lightning
haunted.
can strike twice.
I've been haunted by this thought for the last month. Like, I swear, I've had nightmares. I've dreamed about the Dark Knight Rises movie, and I wake up. I swear to you. I swear to
I feel
God.
really uncomfortable sitting next to you.
I've had a dream about the Dark Knight, and in the dream, I watched the full movie, but Bane never showed up. It was just Christian Bale. It was just Christian Bale talking the whole time.
So the best parts of Batman were all in your dream.
Yeah, so it was basically Batman Begins for Neil.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what if this movie is bad? But I don't know.
So you're really excited for this movie.
I'm extremely excited for this movie.
How long is this movie supposed to be?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
That's a long movie.
I hear
Forever
EA
long.
helped fund this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can expect great things and maybe
Electronic Arts.
some extra important scenes on the DVD whenever it comes out.
Yeah, so I mean,
Downloadable content.
I'm like excited to see the movie. Like I like new comic book hero movies and everything, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Batman. Like I liked The Dark Knight. I didn't really care for Batman Begins. I understand that it's a good film and like I can see why people like it. It just really didn't do much for me because Scarecrow was boring. And
But necessary.
and I didn't, and
a
I'm
plot
not, and I'm not
device.
even a huge fan of Arkham Asylum and the games that Batman people like now. I liked Arkham.
You just said you like.
Yeah.
Why did we ask him
Yeah,
to do this?
I don't
to do
know.
this
Like, I
podcast
mean,
with us?
You just said you like Arkham Asylum
I
like
like
30 minutes
okay,
ago.
yeah, my bad. I liked Arkham Asylum. I didn't really care for Arkham City.
Well, not even.
Yeah, no, I just
God.
I'm sorry, I got the two stupid names mixed up. And I like that when I was a kid.
I'm ready for Arkham
when I was a
State.
kid,
That's
I
the
like
next one.
Batman.
Arkham Nation.
I like Batman, the cartoon series. I like Batman Beyond. I liked all that stuff, but I just don't. I'm just not. I mean, this
So
movie's
what
probably
happened to
this
make
movie's
you
gonna
a
be
terrible
great.
person?
No, I don't know, man. I'm going into it. My expectations just it's probably gonna be a good movie, and I just hope it ends up being great.
Cool.
I like Christopher Nolan. He makes good shit. So
He does consistently, and even if you don't like it, I feel like it's something that you can respect or you should respect.
Mm-hmm.
Though some people don't. Some people hate him. They think that he's just. We won't get into that. We don't have time to get into that. I'm very much looking forward to it. I kind of put it out of my mind. It was like, whoa, it's in 2 weeks or whatever.
is that the biggest movie for y'all this year? Like for you personally?
It's up there with Django Unchained.
Andrew's shaking his head yes, but
Pretty much for me. I mean, The Hobbit, of course, at the end of the year, but that's like
Yeah, but
at
you
the
have
end
like
of
a
the year.
Well, there's The Hobbit, there's Django Unchained, there's
Yeah.
The Master, which wasn't at ComicCon, but
Yes.
there's another one I'm very much looking forward to.
Yep.
But I'm expecting great things. I watched Batman Begins last night. I watched The Dark Knight. I'm going to watch The Dark Knight tonight.
Yep.
And I want to see how he finishes this story up, because there's
I'm glad they're doing that. I can say that. I'm
Yes.
glad that it's I have these
in
three
all
movies.
the comments that I have
gonna get
read
wrapped
have
up.
said
Yeah,
he finishes his trilogy.
that's what I want. That's what I want.
And you can see in the first two a consistent theme, a consistent idea, an evolution of Batman. Because in the first one, whether or not you like it, whether or not you like the Scarecrow, fear was a big thing of Batman,
Right.
and which is also why I like people like, oh, why Bane? Why did he pick Bane? Well, he's picked the villains that served his story the best, which is why I think we like him. So,
Why not the Penguin?
Anybody who asks that's a dipshit. So.
Two things about Batman Begins, though. Zaz is in the movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
And
I watched it
you
yesterday.
know the kid that Katie Holmes
Yes!
is saving? You know who that is?
I know who it is. I'm
Joffrey Baratheon.
Game of Thrones.
Is
Yes.
that little kid.
I'm gonna go back and watch it again if I don't.
I watched. I was like, that's that kid,
I'm like,
and he's
I don't-
American in this movie.
I don't like you, kid.
No, I
don't
know.
like you.
I was like,
Okay.
oh, I want Victor's ass to slice him.
But
up.
anyways, so I have high hopes. Nolan's never let me down. I try not to be. Oh, this is just. There's no way that this can be a bad movie. I try not to go into it like that.
So you're not sending death threats to people that don't like
That's
it.
correct. I'm not sending death threats to negative reviews. So I'm excited. I really. He's everything leading up to this movie, in my opinion, is good.
Yep.
We're all on good footing, and
Well,
I'm excited.
I'm sure.
ready for closure.
I'm sure next
Yes.
week or whenever we record this podcast again, we'll have a lot to say about Batman and if it lives up to what the hype is. Because I don't know. We're all gonna
Which
see
it will, so that's okay.
hopefully it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah, if
It's got enough time to do it.
Yeah, I just hope I would stays pace. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of people in that movie, so I hope that works out.
Yeah.
A lot of people complain about it in The Dark Knight, but
I trust
think it's too
Christopher
long.
Nolan, so we'll see.
Usually 2 hour and 40 minute runtimes scare me, but
Yeah.
if his name's on it, there's very few directors. Avatar, I'm sorry, didn't warrant the 3 hours.
No.
False.
Um,
Did. Hot blue alien chick. Just saying.
3 hours, okay, whatever. Agreed to we can't. Let's not get into that. All right. Anyways, so Batman. I'm gonna say go see it. I'm gonna say go see it as if I've seen it and it's good. I'm gonna hope that it is, and I hope it's good.
It is good.
Anyways,
It's gonna be
so we will get back to you. We're gonna go see Batman. You're not going at midnight, are you, Neil?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go that weekend now.
Okay.
an IMAX.
So hopefully by the end of the weekend, we will all see it. Joe Michael will have seen it, and we will come back to you with our opinions, which I know that you all are just anxiously awaiting for.
Yep.
In the meantime, check out our. We have WordPress. We have a blog, which Neil is an active contributor. Andrew's an active thinker about.
Mother.
Yeah, and definitely tell people to listen to our podcast because it really helps, and tell them to like our Facebook page because that is
40
actually really
was
good
it
to do. So
can we
that
say a
would
number?
really help out. So just really as much as you can, just share the link on Facebook.
It only
if
takes
you
a
like
click.
It. Yeah, so help us out,
Click, like.
and that would be great. And so-
Contribute to our Kickstarter. Oh, we're not there yet. We're not
yeah,
there yet.
just
We're not there
kidding.
Anyways, all right. Have a good week, guys. Go see Batman. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the podcast. Let us know what you liked about ComicCon. Maybe we missed something. And if you have any ideas, if you have anything that you want us to talk about, we kind of come out on these on the whim. But if you have something you want us to talk about, some of you have given us ideas, really good ones, and just keep them coming. We've been interested. We've taken note of them. We've talked about how we can approach some of them. So if you have anything that you want to hear us talk about, please let us know. We love it. We'd love to do it. So thank you all. Have a good week. Go see Batman and like our Facebook page if you haven't.
Nerds.